Madam Deputy Speaker, while we wait for the rollout of the vaccine, there are no easy choices available to the government. The choice is between lockdown, a tiered system, and unrestricted return to normal life. From an economic and social perspective, lockdowns are by far the worst option. Entering a cycle of lockdown, reopen, repeat does not amount to living with the virus, it is hiding from it, whilst causing long-lasting damage at the same time. Now, people have put up with a great deal this year and are desperate, understandably desperate, to return to their normal lives. But we know that the National Health Service comes under strain in the winter months in normal times, and these are very far from normal times. To simply reopen with no restrictions would be a huge gamble that could lead to the loss of tens of thousands of lives. Which leaves the option of regional tiers, which I believe offer the best option for living with the virus while waiting for a full deployment of the vaccine. And in acknowledging that, Madam Deputy Speaker, it's important to recognise that tiers are not a destination, they are a holding pattern. Now, I think the government, as colleagues have said, could do a great deal more in terms of transparency around the evidence basis for decisions relating to tiers. I'm not especially happy with the tier that my own constituency has been put in. Orpington is part of the London Borough of Bromley, and as such is part of Greater London. And while Greater London has a range of infection rates, most much higher than my own borough, Greater London also has a very large number of hospitals. And we know from Department of Health figures that the NHS in London is now, at the end of the year, at only 76% of the level it was in the spring. On that basis, it is possible to make the argument that the NHS has surge capacity to cope with the spike of infections in London, and therefore perhaps it could have been placed in Tier 1 rather than in Tier 2. However, it is also possible to conceive of a situation where this could run out of control. In addition, I note that the government has listened to representations from colleagues on this side and across the House, and a range of activities can now resume in Tier 2 that were not available during lockdown. However, as other colleagues have said, hospitality, in particular pubs, will be hard hit. So whilst the existing measures and the additional financial support announced by the Prime Minister today are welcome, I would call on the government to have another look and see if more can be done while we wait for the vaccine. Now, in closing, Madam Deputy Speaker, I must comment on the total abdication of responsibility offered today by the Leader of the Opposition. It is truly scandalous. It's all very well pointing to the faults of others, and supposedly alternative government must have an alternative plan. The moral vacuity of standing up and saying, I do not like what you are doing, but neither offering an alternative, nor even having the courage to vote on it, is absolutely damning.